All right, Donald Trump is on sort of a tweet storm this morning. In the course of 2 hours, he's tweeted 5 times. This was his 4th tweet in those 2 hours. This one says, "It's so nice that the shackles have been taken off me and I can now fight for America the way I want to." This was after, I don't know, 3 or 4 tweets attacking Paul Ryan, the most powerful Republican in the United States at the moment. So let's bring it back in our panel. CNN political analyst David Gergen is here. Jackie Kusinich is back. She's a CNN political commentator and Washington bureau chief of the Daily Beast. And Jason Johnson is politics editor of TheRoot.com. So David, this 4th tweet from Mr. Trump, and we'll put up the 5th tweet in just a moment. He says, "It's so nice that the shackles have been taken off me and I can now fight for America the way I want to." Were you aware that the shackles were on Donald Trump?
He seemed to be the most unshackled candidate we've ever had. He's been saying what he pleases, not really caring too much about the consequences. You know, he went into the first debate and he was very dismissive of preparations and he wound up losing badly. You know, so I don't think he's been shackled. What I do find interesting, Carol, is that he has made the argument several times that he can win this without the elites. In fact, he's running against the elites, of course, now. But he can win without these people. They've just been, they've just shackled me up anyway. But in one of his earlier tweets this morning, he said, "Look, I really did well in the second debate, and I'm only doing, if I'm doing badly, it's because they're not supporting me." In other words, he flipped the argument from saying I can do it without them to blaming them for the fact that his poll numbers are sagging.
Okay, here's the 5th tweet, and you can handle this one, Jackie, okay? Okay. He says, "With the exception of cheating Bernie out of the nomination, the Democrats have always proven to be far more loyal to each other than the Republicans." So again, he's maligning his fellow Republicans for fleeing his campaign and saying, hey, look, the Democrats are sticking together despite what Hillary Clinton did to Bernie.
It took a while for Democrats to coalesce around Hillary. They had the whole primary system, and there have been moments where Hillary's had some backlash from her party. But listen, I mean, this particular incident isn't about Hillary Clinton. It's about what Donald Trump said, his first non-apology, the second apology, and how he's continued to carry on. He could have moved past this by now. The debate was a moment to move past this. And instead, 28 days before the election, he's choosing to fight with the Republican Party instead of Hillary Clinton and to go after Democrats. It's just, it's extraordinary.
The other thing he's doing, Jason, and you heard Michele Bachmann mention it, he's saying that maybe it was it was like interesting, the timing when that tape dropped, like who really released that, right? Also, if you look at the front of Breitbart News, CNN is the most evil news organization in the world, right? Because we're maligning Mr. Trump unfairly when we're not telling the truth. In fact, no member of the mainstream media is. And there are also hints again that we might have a fraudulent election coming up.
Yeah, Carol, it's almost hard to begin on the level of nonsense that's being spouted. But I think we can all see where this is heading with what Donald Trump said in the last debate. When he stood there and said, one of the first things I'm going to do as president is basically throw my political opponent in jail. When you hear someone say that, when you hear someone running for president of the United States say, I will throw political opponents in jail, there is no question what other things he's willing to do. He will dismiss his own party. He will pretend he doesn't have a relationship with his own vice president. He will declare the election as rigged. He will say that every media outlet that does not kowtow to him is somehow an enemy of the state. This is inherently dangerous talk. And I think the real key here is he can attack Paul Ryan all he wants, but at the end of the day, Donald Trump was leading in a place like Ohio. Now he's losing. Why does that happen? Because you can't even make friends with a popular governor like John Kasich. He's going to have trouble in New Jersey because he's insulted even Chris Christie, who was very, very loyal to him. You can't win if you won't make any friends, and he's not making friends this campaign season.
And you know, something interesting appeared on Facebook the other day, David Gergen, and it's from Glenn Beck, right? Glenn Beck, who passionately attacked Clinton for years and years, posted this on his Facebook page, quote, "If she is elected, Hillary, the world does not end. Once elected, Hillary can be fought. If one helps to elect an immoral man to the highest office, then one is merely validating his immorality, lewdness, and depravity." David, Glenn Beck said that.
Yeah, I know. I believe that Glenn Beck is a Mormon. He has many, many friends in the Mormon community. And it's not, and he's very close to Mitt Romney. I would not at all be surprised if he's been was basically offended by the tape, as many others were. But I think he might be particularly offended, and he's venting about it. I don't know much more about his personal history with Donald Trump himself.
It's just interesting that there's this split among, because Glenn Beck is
I
really conservative, right?
It's like throwing a grenade into the middle of your party, and then everybody's throwing them now, and it is a civil war within the Republican Party. I think a lot of us felt that this wouldn't break open this kind of war within the party until after the elections were over, and then there was going to be a fight over the soul of the party and the direction of the party. But it's starting 4 weeks before the election, the Civil War starting, and it really is going to drag down a lot of Republicans and dispirit them. It is hurting everybody to have this go on. I think that Paul Ryan himself, before this is over, may withdraw his own endorsement. I think if he could totally act on his own, he would withdraw his endorsement. But given the fact he's House Speaker, he's trying to protect his members. He's trying to walk a fine line. Donald Trump's very obviously extraordinarily angry, but what you have is a sense of Donald Trump, the tiger who was caged up in that debate, is now breaking loose. I think he's been unshackled all along, but he's giving vent to his anger and his resentments.
All right, well, we're going to be talking about this for a long, long time on CNN and in the days to come. David Gergen, Jackie Kusinich, Jason Johnson, thanks to all of you. Still